Vow, view, vow, view, vow, view, vow, view, vow to view, vow, 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 vow to view,
vow to view each other's movies, even though we don't always like them, but it's okay because we love each other and movies too.
Hello, and welcome to Vow to View, a Daily Planet podcast all about marriage and the things we make each other watch. My name is Elyse Daly.
And I'm Scott Daly.
And together,
we're the Dailies. Your shoulders were pretty settled that time around.
They were tense.
It's so funny.
Why?
Because you like are halfway to laughing every time you do this intro. I can hear it in your voice.
I know, because isn't this whole thing a joke anyways?
What?
I'm just kidding. You should have seen your face.
No.
It's not a joke. It's serious.
I take this super serious.
I am a real boy. I'm not a real boy. I'm a real girl.
That was an interesting decision there, Elyse. This is the podcast where each week you and I will select a movie for each other to watch.
Yes,
and then we'll make each other watch it, and then we'll talk about it, and about marriage and love.
You know, we haven't talked about marriage with it as much.
It's tough. It's not always easy to talk about marriage.
No, it's not.
The point of this whole project is we have things that we like. We want to share those things with the other person, and by doing so, we will learn about each other a little more,
and maybe,
which will, in turn, help our marriage.
Will that help it grow?
It will.
What if I really don't like something you should try and show me?
I mean, I'd be upset, but I would find a way to live my life.
Would you?
Yeah.
I think you'd get really mad at me.
I don't think I'd get mad at you. I'd be
get
hurt.
Frustrated.
I'd be hurt.
Interesting.
Elise?
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about this week on the show? What's the theme? We have a theme each week on the show.
We have a theme now.
For those tuning in for the first time.
You know, we like themes. I think we need to connect these things a little bit better. These movies we watch.
So we did that. We did that.
So we did it. Done. Check mark, box filled. What can we do next, guys? Other than themes.
Why don't we tell them what the theme is?
Oh, okay. The theme for this week is Spring Break!
Spring Break,
Woo!
y'all! Spring Break forever.
Spring Break! Spring Break away!
Forever Spring Break.
No, we had fall break in
break,
college.
y'all.
Did you guys have a fall break?
I don't remember.
We had fall break. Fall break 08. That
I was
actually
doing my impression of James Franco from my movie. I don't know if you picked up on that.
I was doing my impression of our cheer from fall break in college.
But so we picked Spring Break because Elyse, you are a teacher, and therefore get
we
spring
have spring
breaks.
break. You know why they have spring break? It is not for the kids. It's for the teachers.
I wonder if that's true.
It's for the teachers.
I mean, definitely younger kids because they don't really work. But college kids need a spring break.
Hey, do you know who hates indoor recess more than the students? The teachers.
I think that's probably pretty true.
Because we don't get an escape then. They're there.
You make the children go away.
Oh.
But when they have to come inside, it's the worst.
I know. And then they never stop asking you. Like, they look outside the window. It's raining. Are we going to go outside today? I don't even want to answer. Because, you know, there are such things as dumb questions.
Yes.
There really are. And
you should give really smart-ass responses to them.
Oh, I do.
Of course
I do. And usually the kids go, burn! Oh, burn! Right afterwards. And I'm like, guys, be quiet. Because I'm about to say something to you for saying something like that.
Yeah.
I got that today. Someone was saying something because I give table points.
I don't know. Nobody knows what that means.
So it's like I have my kids grouped according to tables, and in order to try and motivate them to do things faster than they need to, or not faster than they need to, faster than they like to get things done.
Yeah.
I say you get table points, and then so often the table wins something like homework passes or lunch with devices.
Sweet, a pass to do homework? That sounds great.
Yeah. Anyways, so I had told them that there was something that they had to do in order to get table points. And then one kid at another table that did not have his table win was trying to point out, oh my gosh, look, no, they've got trash. They're not good. They don't have everything done. They've got trash. And I said, you know what? They've all got their stuff done because they worked together and helped each other, unlike your table.
You know what you should have said to him?
What?
Should have said, snitches get stitches. And then, like, thrown something at him.
Why would he be a snitch?
Because he's turning in the other table.
I can perfectly see that they've got trash.
He's turning in the other table.
Anyways, it's spring break next week.
Yeah,
Tomorrow,
so Elyse is on spring break.
8 hours is all that stands in between spring break and me with children.
So we thought it would be fun to talk about a couple of spring break themed movies.
During spring break?
Yeah, so obviously we're adults now, and your spring break next week will not be what spring breaks are like in either of these two movies.
I don't know.
You will spend the week relaxing.
Spring break's gonna be pretty.
But when you were in college, was spring break a big thing for you?
You know, it really wasn't. My freshman year, I think I just went home. I was dating a guy then, and he was older than me, but still. So I went home to hang out with him. And then my sophomore year, okay, so I got this, I was thinking about it last night, trying to get my chronological order of spring breaks down.
It's very important.
Yeah. So my sophomore year, my church that I went to in college did a spring break mission trip every year. And sophomore year, I went on a spring break mission trip. Then junior year, I went with some of my friends from my sorority, and we went to Orange Beach and had, I guess, more of like an actual spring break experience.
Where is
Not
Orange
anywhere.
Beach?
It is right next to Gulf Shores. It is a smaller, family friendlier.
Boo.
Not as. It was great for us. The Pink Pony Pub had karaoke. It was fantastic.
That's like Elise's kryptonite.
I know, it was so great. And then I don't even remember what I did my senior year of spring break. Oh, no. I think I went to go see my sister in DC. Yeah, because I just needed to go do something different. And I also think, I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure I went to go see her and visit. And that was fun. Yeah, that's what I did. I remember that now.
Okay.
I got that.
Okay. So nothing huge.
No, nothing huge.
Yeah, I never did what everyone thinks is the stereotypical thing where you go down and party on a beach.
I mean, I did do that
in Mexico,
not in
anything.
Mexico.
We would do group trips with all my friends. One of my friends has a lake house in Fort Worth Lake. I forget which one. That we went out to once. We went to.
Sounds super exciting.
I mean, we partied.
Oh, wow.
Why?
Lake house.
Wow.
Was Sandra Bullock there?
No.
I'm sorry.
Where's this animosity coming from?
I don't know.
I didn't say anything mean during yours.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. So we just
please continue.
And there were a couple times when we rented a house.
Lots of houses.
Down. So it was. Where was it? It wasn't Gulf Shores. I don't remember.
Was it Orange Beach? Were you at Orange Beach the same time I was?
I'm 4 years older than you.
Did we have another time where we were together in the same room and we didn't know each other?
You mean like when we saw The Maze Runner?
Yes, that's crazy.
Yeah. Before Elyse and I met each other, we were both at a press screening of The Maze Runner, which is weird because neither of us are press. So I don't know what either of us were doing there.
That you know of, I wasn't press at the time, but...
Were you? Were you press?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, okay. Where's your review?
I don't need to show you my review in order to prove myself to you.
Okay.
Why are you laughing like that? That's mean.
You're lying. That's why I'm laughing. Because you're a liar.
I don't lie.
You're a liar.
No.
Anyway, Elyse.
No. Yes.
So that's our spring breaks. Nothing like these movies at all. But let's...
I mean, I'm sure your lake house was entirely like one of these movies.
It was not.
The Lake House movie.
I think we were all coupled up at the time.
And
stop referencing that movie.
Is that the one with Keanu Reeves in it too? I never saw it. It was weird time travel.
Well, then
thing,
stop
right?
talking about it.
Why not? I mean,
Because
hey,
if you haven't seen the movie...
I could still talk about something I haven't seen. I just might not have anything substantial to say about it.
That's thus the stop talking about it.
No, I mean, I could still talk about it, though.
All right. Let's talk about your movie.
My
Let's talk about
movie?
the movie we actually watched instead
Okay.
of a movie that neither of us have
We
seen.
could talk about a movie that we've watched. That's a good idea.
So, Elyse,
Do you think people would like for us to talk about movies that we've watched before?
that's probably why they're listening.
Oh,
If I had to guess.
I thought they were listening just because they liked me.
No, that can't be it.
No.
Yeah, that'd be
I
weird.
thought it was just because they liked you.
No, that's definitely not
It's just
it.
because we talk about movies.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry for that confusion.
Elyse,
Yes.
what movie did you pick for the Spring Break episode?
I picked a fantastic movie called 22 Jump Street.
22 Jump
What?
Street? Tell me about 22 Jump Street.
So 22 Jump Street, according to some information via the internet that you helped me gather, came out in 2014, written by Michael Bacall. I don't know. I just
I
wanted
knew
to do
you
that.
were going to do that.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh, that,
When I wrote that down, I
Love.
said, Elyse is going to make a dumb joke.
so what? My jokes are not dumb. My jokes are very intelligent. He also wrote 21 Jump Street, which is no surprise because, hey, it was probably the easiest writing gig he's ever had. Let's just kind of take what I did before and then just tweak a bit.
We'll get into that.
He also did Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which I know that you love that movie, and I really enjoy it too. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Are these other people that wrote the movie too that you said?
Yeah.
Oren Uziel?
Mm-hmm.
The Cloverfield Paradox. Oh, that was not good. We did not like the Cloverfield Paradox.
You have to read these faster.
And then Rodney Rotham, Rodney Rotham, great alliteration in that name. I think is a solid choice to have on the writing committee. He may not be well known.
I
for other
just finished
things,
saying you have to
but
read through these
Rodney
faster.
was great. The story was by Michael Bacall and Jonah Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Jonah Hill got a story credit.
He did. Good job, Jonah Hill. It was directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who did the Lego Movie, which was a fantastic. The Lego movies are hilarious. Those are actual children's movies that I support watching in the classroom on rainy days. And then Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which based on a book that, I've never actually read, but the movie was pretty cute.
They also did the original 21 Jump Street, and they were supposed to be doing the Han Solo movie, but they got fired.
Probably over creative differences because they were going to make a fun Han Solo movie.
Yeah,
and
we'll get into that.
No, let's not do anything fun.
So,
Yeah.
21 Jump Street
Mhm.
was a reboot of a 70s, 80s TV show
Okay.
where
it
police
was a
officers
reboot of
where
something.
police officers went undercover, sometimes as high school students
Mm-hmm.
to try to basically do what happens in this movie to try to bust drug rings.
Kind of like Never Been Kissed, only with drugs.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah. I love that.
It had Captain Jack Sparrow in it, the television show.
It had Johnny Depp in it.
It had Johnny Depp in
let's
it.
not
Yeah,
speak
he
of him
actually
anymore.
makes a cameo in 21 Jump Street.
He does?
Yeah,
It's been so long since
at
I've
the very
seen
end
that.
of that movie, he makes a cameo.
We should have rewatched it.
Yeah, we ran out
There's
of time.
only so much time.
But yeah, so this is a sequel to that movie that was successful somehow. Who would have ever thought that a reboot of
Do you know why it was successful?
why?
Channing Tatum.
It was successful for a lot of reasons.
It was
Elyse.
successful for Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum needs to be a comedic actor. He is hilarious.
He's very funny, but that's not the only reason why the movie was good.
Okay, so he's funny, which appeals to lots of people. And then he's just handsome, which appeals to other people.
Yeah, so that movie came out. It had Jonah Hill in it, it had Channing
Mm-hmm.
Tatum, it had Brie Larson before Brie Larson got huge.
Mm.
And everyone thought it was a bad idea, and it ended up being a very stupid movie that was hilarious
Yeah.
because it's kind of a very meta movie because it's like acknowledging how ridiculous it is to reboot a TV show that people don't even know anymore. And it lives in that, and it acknowledges that, and it's very upfront about how ridiculous it is. So then a few years later, it was successful, so they said make a sequel, And Phil
So
Lord.
let's make it even more meta.
And Phil Lord and Chris Miller basically said, that's ridiculous, but okay. And they and their writers made a movie that is basically about the idea of comedy sequels. And the theme of this movie is do the same thing as last time.
Only in a different setting.
Only we have more money now.
Yeah.
And so talk to me about this movie.
I'll talk to you about this
Talk
movie.
to me about this movie. Why do you like this movie so much?
Because I think Channing Tatum is hilarious. I can't stop laughing at all the things that he does.
These movies.
And it's just funny. It's my type of humor. This is the type that I enjoy, where it's like not necessarily slapstick humor, but it's funny, and
it's very clever.
And
it's witty.
It's
humor.
and you can go back and rewatch it, and then you can pick up on something else, and you're like, it's just my humor, and it's Channing Tatum and Magic Mike. Step up.
Yeah, so I mean,
step up the street.
The first movie was kind of all about how high school has changed, right? Like the big thing was Channing Tatum was the popular guy in high school, and Jonah Hill was the nerd that nobody liked. And so they go back to high school in the 2000s, and suddenly being the Jonah Hill type person is cool, and being the dumb jock type person is not cool anymore. And so our characters are having to kind of deal with that in hilarious ways. And then the sequel decides to take that and focus more on the relationship between Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill's characters and their partnership. And of course, it has many metaphors to their partnership being romantic more than just a friendship. Because Channing Tatum
their love
meets a new friend who's exactly like him.
Zook.
Played by
Wyatt Russell.
Kurt Russell's.
Wyatt Russell, he turned down a Hunger Games role in order to be in this movie.
Well, he was great in it.
I know. He's so funny.
Because the funniest moment in the movie is the meet cute.
You love that meet cute. You were quoting about the meet cute to me before I had even remembered that the meet cute happened.
It's such a stupid. I don't. It's hard to explain if people haven't seen the movie, but people know what a meet cute is.
Do they know what a meet cute is?
So a meet cute, for those that don't know, is like in any romantic comedy, a meet cute is the time when your two leads meet for the first time, and normally it's done in some super contrived, adorable type of way, like they bump into each other, or
like one person's gonna buy the top to the pajamas and the other person needs the bottom to the pajamas, and it's like, we can just purchase it together and then we can each have what we need.
Right. So Channing Tatum meets Zook, he's for some reason has a Q-tip in his ear while he's on the football field trying out for football, and Wyatt Russell has a sandwich. And they bump into each other, and this Q-tip falls into his sandwich, and he says, "You got some meat in my cute." "No, I got some cute in your meat." It's like a meat cute, and it's just the stupidest joke. Like, it's such a stupid joke, and it's so funny,
and you love it.
It's clever. Like, it is clever. Like, I just this movie is fully aware of itself, and like the captain's thing that in the office is literally a cube of ice, and it's played by Ice Cube.
Yes.
There's so many moments in this movie that it's just fully aware of itself, fully aware of what it's doing and how ridiculous it is. And
that's why I love it.
And it's like, comedy sequels are really hard. They really are. Like, name a good sequel to a comedy that you can think of that's not this movie.
Interesting that you'd propose that to me.
You're buying time
around
because
and look
you
at
can't.
The movie shelf. I might be able.
I'm telling you, you're not going to find one. They're usually okay.
Lego Ninjago.
That's not a sequel, and that was not as good.
Not really a sequel. Toy Story 2.
That's not a comedy. That's not a comedy.
Good. I'm just talking about sequels in general here.
But that wasn't the question. Airplane 2 is not as good. I mean,
just think of what's a good comedy that I like.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
This is besides the point. The point is that doing...
I mean, you asked
like
me.
Neighbors 2, like Neighbors was a great, funny movie. Neighbors 2 was okay, but it was not near as good. It is hard
guess
to
that's
do...
true.
like the thing
Well,
about...
that's because people also, I don't know if they expect to have... The jokes you have to always top is what they feel. And that's why this one is so good, is because they didn't try and top it.
They just
did the same
thing.
joke. And
But I
that's why it was so perfect.
But I mean, they didn't exactly do that, right? Because the reason they solve the crime by realizing that they can't stop looking at it the exact same way. But I mean, most of the jokes circle around how it's all the same. And I think you're right about that, because the thing about comedy is unexpected. The reason why punchlines work is because you say something, you set up something, and then the punchline is something you didn't expect, and unexpected tends to be funny. But once you've already seen that, it's really hard to get those same characters back in a situation where they're in more funny situations that doesn't feel like a retread or a recontrived anything.
And I wonder if I really would have liked this movie as much had I not seen the first one. And it was interesting because a lot of people are asking, should I see the first one if I haven't seen the second one? Like, do I need to? And technically, no, you don't. It kind of gives you enough information about what happened in the first one. But I think to fully appreciate the humor in the movie, you have to have seen the first one.
I agree.
To understand how much this movie is just a repeat, and that's what makes it funny.
Yeah. I mean, and so many of the jokes are referential to the first one. Understanding Schmidt and Jenko's relationship as it was in the first one is paramount to understanding why the hilariously emotional core of this movie
and the Dave
would
Franco.
work. And Dave Franco.
Hey, we got both Franco brothers in our movies. I didn't even realize that
Franco
until just
Fest.
now.
And then Lord and Miller basically leave the movie and decide the ending, we're just going to ruin the idea of doing any more of these movies, because the end credits are just 23 Jump Street through 50 Jump Street, where they're just making fun of the idea of sequel after sequel after sequel, and basically killing the idea that there could ever be any more movies after this, which, good. Although there was rumored to be a 21 Jump Street Men in Black crossover where Jenko and Schmidt would play Men in Black.
Oh my gosh.
It's not happening anymore. It's dead. But that was long rumored for a while.
Well, who did you say was going to be in the next Men in Black movie?
Who did
Chris
I say?
Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth,
That's a good choice.
Chris Hemsworth is funny too.
He's another one of those actors to where I feel like they can get cast as these macho men, and then they actually have just this really good comedic timing. Like
Chris Hemsworth was the funniest part of our Ghostbusters.
Yeah, he was the best part of it. And Channing Tatum in this movie, I mean, he was not the best part of it, but he was a lot to add. And then going back to Magic Mike. Okay, Magic Mike 2 was better than the original Magic Mike, but the original Magic Mike was not a comedy. Yeah. I'm just talking about sequels here. I'm just trying to help myself, okay?
But you're not, like, yes.
Fine. Be mean.
There are sequels that are better than their originals. The Godfather 2, I think, is better. But we're talking about comedies here.
Okay.
That's important.
Okay. Scott's right. Scott's always right.
Oh, stop it.
I have to say that on the recording so that he can always play it back.
I'm just going to
That's why I said it in the voice that I did, because then I know it's sarcastic. That's right.
Because you might forget if you didn't make it sarcastic.
I mean, me and my senile old age one day. We'll play it back.
So, when did you see these movies? Did you see them in the theater?
No, I didn't see them in the theater. I don't remember when I saw them. Were we dating whenever 22 Jump Street came out?
2014? No.
I know I had rewatched 22 Jump Street with you before.
I don't think that's true, because I don't think I've seen this since I saw it in the theater. I mean, maybe it was on like HBO and we watched like 10 minutes of it.
It was on TV.
I don't think I've sat down and watched it start to finish in a long time. But no, it's like these two movies, like if you haven't seen these movies, watch these movies.
They're
guys.
so good.
They're so funny.
Just go to Best Buy and get them. You can buy both movies for what was it? $12? $14?
I think it was $10.
It was insane. It's a steal.
And they're fantastic. I love them. I love them so much. I think, like, this is the thing with Phil Lord and Chris Miller. They take things that should be a terrible idea,
like a Lego movie.
Doing a reboot of these movies and then doing a sequel is never going to work, and it did. Doing a Lego movie should have been a terrible cash grab, heartless corporation film, and it was this beautiful, nuanced investigation of how people play and how people create, and that was wonderful. And that's why, Elyse, that's why I'm so sad
that they're not doing the Han Solo movie.
Like, the only way doing a Han Solo origin story would have been good is if Phil Lord and Chris Miller were working on it.
It would not have given the tone that the whole franchise wants to set forth. They're not into the comedy.
But...
And I know.
That was the whole point of the spin-off movies, that they can be different tones. And they've completely abandoned that.
They don't really want that.
No.
You know, all they want is the money. They make a movie, they'll make some toys, make sure it comes out around Christmas time so that everyone can buy the merchandise.
Well, it comes out in June, not Christmas time.
Back to school backpacks.
May.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, we've talked about this on the podcast before, but I understand, like, Disney answers to shareholders, and they have to tell their shareholders that they cannot explain to their shareholders why they made this movie work for only a certain segment of Star Wars fans and not make a movie that appeals to all Star Wars fans. Like, how do you explain to a shareholder that we could have made $1 billion, but we decided to make $500 million instead?
Now that they own everything, does it really matter anymore?
Yeah, stock prices go down if earnings go down. It's just the way it works.
It's fine.
But that's business stuff. That's stupid.
Who cares about business?
22 Jump Street, meet cute.
Love at first sight.
Channing Tatum goes to a study of sexuality course and learns about how he was being a homophobe his entire life and severely apologizes for it.
It's a great movie.
It also makes fun of the fact that apparently in colleges nobody goes to the library anymore because that's where all the drug deals happen and the empty stacks in the library.
I went to the library. I studied in the library.
Elyse, how long ago were you in college?
Oh, it's been 6 years.
Times have changed. Yeah, times have changed, babe. That's what we were talking about in my movie.
It has been 6 years, right? No, 7 years.
In my movie, we were talking about how everyone in the classroom in my movie had a laptop. And when I was in college, it was like maybe a fourth of the people had laptops.
And everybody in college had laptops. Now what do the kids have? Do they just have glasses with screens? What do they do, Scott? How do they learn? How do they take notes? What's changed now?
I think they probably still have laptops. Maybe tablets?
Well, but you still have to have a keyboard for a tablet.
Yeah, but when I was in college, my freshman year of college, 2003.
Yeah, you're old.
I took notes on paper.
It's actually, I have heard this. So I'm saying it's been scientifically proven.
Elyse read it in an article
because
once. That's what that means.
I've heard it somewhere, and I think it was a reliable source, that when you write something down, your brain remembers it better than if you were to type it. Or even.
I could see that.
So that's why they always would suggest, like, if you are going to take notes on a computer or whatever, or like even a recording, to write down afterwards what you were going to say.
What would you write down?
What would I write
22
down?
Jump Street.
Watch this again.
So...
And I say it again because you just watch it again because it's the same thing and it's again and it's just all over again and you just keep again and again.
Do the same thing you did last time.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you like these movies. I'm so glad this is your type of humor because this is my type of humor. These silly, is like Forgetting Sarah Marshall. These movies, like it's kind of stupid, silly type of humor.
It's not stupid.
Well. It's smart. I guess it's witty.
Times.
I mean, I don't know if I'd call.
Because it's not necessarily smart.
I mean, some of the jokes are pretty like the guy who we think is the bad guy literally has a tattoo on his arm that's it's a red herring, and because the high school he went to is the Red Herrings. I mean, I don't know if I'd call that smart. it's kind of like you chuckle at it because it's so dumb.
You're like things, they're so dumb, they're good.
Yeah, but that's the type of humor I like too. I mean, like MacGruber. Love MacGruber.
MacGruber. Is that true? Is that the right song?
Yeah.
MacGruber.
Yeah.
I remember you made me watch that and I didn't like it.
What?
Remember I didn't like MacGruber.
I think you fell asleep during
No,
MacGruber.
I just went into the other room and started cleaning. And then you got upset because I left the room. Come back, Elyse. You gotta watch this. And I didn't finish watching it.
Okay. Well, I think. Do you have anything more you want to talk about 22 Jump Street? I mean, like,
Everybody should go watch it.
It's so talking about comedy sometimes is really hard because there's so many things I want to say, but it just feels like when you're trying to tell a funny joke to someone when they should just see it instead. Like when you're trying to relay a joke you heard, this doesn't work.
But I do think if you are going to watch this, like what we said earlier, maybe it is better to watch the first one just because you'll see why the second one is so much funnier, because it makes fun of the fact that it's a sequel, but the way it makes fun of it being a sequel is because it is the repeat of before.
And the first one has Brie Larson in it, and she's great.
Yeah, I do enjoy Brie Larson.
You know, I saw this movie with some friends, the first movie. I remember this memory because it made me feel very
I remember
awkward.
you telling me this.
I left the movie and I was like, man, that girl, like, she's going to be famous. She's like, I think she's beautiful. I think she's a good actress. And all my friends were like, really? I mean, I thought they, like, specifically picked someone that wasn't that good looking so it would be, like, believable that they would get with Jonah Hill.
She's like the girl next door.
And I was, like, shocked. I mean, she's not, like, supermodel looking beautiful, but I think I love Brie Larson. I think she's great. And I'm so happy.
I thought you loved me.
Stop it. Can I not talk about
who do you love, me or Brie Larson?
I love you.
You love me
and Brie Larson.
What? The same way?
Yeah, exactly the same way. It's like you're a Bachelor guy with those two women. It's exactly like that.
Oh, don't you Ari me. If I tell you to leave, you better leave.
No, so I just remember feeling like so like, and I like went and I was like, I went and saw the movie again and I was like, do I just have like terrible taste in women? And all my friends told me that?
No, you have excellent taste in women.
Brie Larson, guys.
I think you've got a great picker, babe.
There was something about her I could tell. Like, I don't know if she was in anything big in before the first 21 Jump Street. Like, she was in a couple episodes of Community. She was in that movie Short Term 12. I don't know if you ever saw that. That was after.
Because that was John Gallagher Jr.
Yeah.
I love me some JG Jr.
Anyway, Brie Larson, Captain Marvel. Can't wait. Let's move on.
Yes, let's.
Are you ready to talk about the other movie?
I'm ready to talk about the other movie. Right after this short break. Ah! I can't do the same
There's
one
so
every
many
time,
other
so
songs you could
I should
do.
look up some songs about coming back.
I think just generally being more prepared for this podcast on your side would probably be a good thing.
Here come the podcast is back.
That needs work.
Podcast back.
Guys, we need to workshop
one
that
that
one.
you remember.
That needs so much.
Here is the podcast is back.
Wow.
I think that's a pretty good one.
I think
I'll workshop it.
I think you need to
I know,
workshop
I'll get it.
Maybe
It'll
get some
get
better
better.
lyrics. Maybe make it flow a little bit better. And
Maybe if you would help.
no, I'm do all the other work.
Here comes.
I'm so excited I found another song.
All right, my movie, Elyse.
Yeah.
I picked Spring Breakers for
You
my
did.
spring. It's funny. I realized we just talked about 22 Jump Street without ever actually talking about the part where they went
To the beach
to the beach for spring break,
Yeah.
because that's the entire third act of the movie. Guys, 22 Jump Street, the entire third act of the movie takes place at spring break, just like 21 Jump Street, the entire third act of the movie takes place at prom. It's like, see, it's the two things that are important it's like the same thing they're doing. Anyway, my movie was Spring Breakers. This is a movie that is written and directed by Harmony Korine.
Not a girl.
Not a girl,
Scott
Harmony.
thought it was for a bit.
Well, it's funny because I didn't remember. I'd say
Sure, now
I
you
haven't
say that.
Well, but it's like the movie opens and you're like immediately kind of like, a girl shot this movie? Because the camera loves the female bodies. Absolutely in this movie. But for very interesting reasons, and I'm very excited to dive into this movie with you, Elyse.
How are you?
The basic premise of this movie is 4 college girls hole up a restaurant in order to fund their spring break vacation. While partying, drinking, and taking drugs, they are arrested, only to be bailed out by a drug and arms dealer. That drug and arms dealer, Elyse, is played by
One of
James
my
Franco.
favorites. Yeah.
James Franco playing the character called Alien. His real name is Al, but he calls himself Alien. It's James Franco with dreadlocks and 2 huge grills over his teeth, playing a ridiculous character.
Lots of fake tattoos on him
Yeah.
as well.
So this I love this movie. This is like it's going to be tough to talk about it because this is one of those movies I think if you looked at the poster or if you saw part of the trailer, you would really think you're getting something entirely else. This is
What would you think you're getting if you saw the trailer and the poster?
just a movie about girls like partying and spring break and debauchery, and this is social commentary. This is a savage commentary of culture, of college culture, of like racial status in our country. Like, this movie is saying a lot of things, and it is kind of feminist in its own way. It's a movie that shoots women the way that anyone going to spring break would look at them. The camera looks at them as objects. The camera like drinks in the bikinis and the dancing and the nudity and the sex and the debauchery. But these women are like always in control of their situation. They are different and apart from all of this. And like there's a scene early in the movie when they get to spring break for the first time where the one girl's alone in a hotel room surrounded by men and they're all wasted. I think any other movie in that scenario, and the woman probably gets raped. But in this movie, she basically just tells them, I don't want to give this to you, so you're not going to get it. And nothing happens. And I think that's really interesting and unique. And I mean, the whole central premise of this movie is like kind of inverting the idea of college. And like, as college was supposed to be this place where you go to experience the world. Like you've been a child, you go to college, you experience the world, you have these experiences and you open up your horizon. But in the world of this movie, college is a safe, sheltered place. And these girls leave college to go experience the world through spring break. And they experience hedonism and drugs and violence and murder. And then they get to just leave and they get to just go home and back to college and back to their protective bubble. So it's this really like, I don't know, I want to let you talk a little bit, but it's this like really interesting exploration of what like being a white girl in school. I mean, they're upper middle class girls that decide that they want to have these life experiences, which basically involve entering a world in which they really have no consequences because they're just visiting it and they get to leave. It's just a vacation. The idea of spring break forever as this thing that you just stay in it for as long as you want, and then you get to leave without any consequence, without anything at all. I just find fascinating. Oh, sorry, I'll let you talk.
Well, I'll start by saying I like James Franco. We'll start by saying that. I thought he was phenomenal in his role, and I understand that it was a smaller movie and that it probably, that type of character may not appeal to a lot of awards, I guess. But I was kind of shocked that when I looked at that, he wasn't. Right? And that's usually the type of character that they like to go for, where you do completely change yourself in order to become someone else on the screen. And I was completely impressed by his performance and shocked. And it just, especially after this year, seeing The Disaster Artist, thinking, you know, he's such a strange person that I don't necessarily know that he's always given as much credit for as intelligent and how talented he is. And I think that seeing this, it just reminded me of the fact that I have complete, you know, I've got a lot of examples of things I can go back on. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So I really liked that. Out of the 4 characters that were in the movie, who do you think I am most like?
Selena Gomez.
So do you think I liked the movie?
I mean, I guess not, but like, I don't think you're supposed to like any of these girls.
I had a very interesting thing with this movie. First of all, I did not ever see it when it came out because I thought it looked trashy. And had I not been watching it for the purpose of this, I would have not watched the whole thing. I did not like how I understand the realism that they were trying to show of how spring break can be on the beach. I got it after the first couple minutes, and I didn't need to see it. I didn't want to see it. I thought it was I didn't like it. And so I think as the movie went on and it kind of turned into something else beyond that, I kind of liked it a little bit more, but I don't know. And then it was interesting because I was having a conversation with a friend today who I was talking to them about the spring break movies and about how I had picked 22. And she was like, did you watch Spring Breakers? And I said, yeah. And she was like, that's such a good movie. It's so quotable. And I'm thinking, are we watching the same movie? Because I didn't really think of anything as being necessarily like quotable. And she said she saw it with her mom. And then I thought, I would not see that. She might be thinking,
I mean, there's a movie called Spring Break that came out in the 80s that she might be thinking
No, it was this one.
The James Franco
Yeah,
one?
it was this one.
I mean, like, I get, but like, I think the nudity and the sex and the partying, I get why that would bother you, but I don't think the movie is like celebrating that kind of stuff. I think it's painting that as animalistic and kind of awful. Like the movie.
And I get that, but I think that they did it in such a raw part in the first thing that I didn't think it needed to be revisited as much as they did.
Well, I mean, that's like, it does it by intercutting between these things. And like one of the things that I noticed when I saw it this time is that whenever you're seeing the spring break scenes, like the kids partying on the beach, it is stark white. There are no black people in that thing at all. It is just a bunch of white college kids. And the only time black people start appearing in the movie is when you get to like the underbelly of St. Petersburg, this town. And like the parts that James Franco is involved in, and James Franco describes himself as the one white guy that grew up in a black neighborhood. So you start to have these ideas of these white people kind of like, I'm not going to say like cultural appropriation, but they like come to this place and they just kind of invade it and take it over and act like they rule it, and then just leave, and they leave it all behind with all this actual the real issues and the real problems that they're just completely immune to. And like I think that's a big theme of the movie. I mean, like we see our 4 characters, each one is like having the time of their life until it gets real, and the second it gets real, they're gone. And each one of them has a different moment that it gets real based on their personalities. The Selena Gomez character is probably the least wild of them. So for her, the second they get arrested and bailed out by James Franco, she's like, I'm done. The one girl, it takes until she gets shot in the arm. For the other 2, because they're crazy, go all the way to the end, and then they murder a bunch of black people. These women in pink ski masks murder a bunch of black people
with a unicorn on it.
Yeah. And I also read this really interesting article today about it, about when they're walking down. There's a scene near the end of the movie where they're walking down that dock, and there's the pastel colors are hitting them, and it darkens their skin. To almost make it seem like they have become black. Yeah, like it's almost a way of doing blackface via lighting. And so they like become black, murder all these people, and then throw their masks away, call their moms and say, we're ready to come home now and we're going to do better, as if none of this really mattered. And like it's just fascinating to me. And like I couldn't get over James Franco's the scene where he shows them back to his house first, and he's like talking about all the stuff he got, and like this movie like worships stuff. It's all about things and what those things represent and the power in those things, and that's like like I just like this raging criticism of the country and modern society and the idea of spring break as a whole. And I don't know, like, I found that fascinating.
I thought there were a lot of things that were statement scenes that I think like that, they made you think. And I think those pulled out and put together, I would enjoy it much more. I would probably not sit back down and rewatch this movie.
Yeah.
At least I would probably skip over the first 30 minutes.
It's a hard movie to watch.
Minutes.
And the movie is very dreamlike. It's very kind of out of sync. Like they will show cuts of things that haven't happened moments before they actually do happen. It kind of like floats in and out. There's a lot of repetition of dialogue where they play the same line, the same take over and over again. Like James Franco saying, spring break, spring break forever. And then there's the whole scene where like
scaredy cat.
Yeah,
Scaredy
and they're
cat.
like because they're now like encouraging him to do all this stuff.
Quotable.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
but I don't
quotable.
think those are good. The quotes though,
No,
like when
I don't know what quotable.
I don't know, but I don't like, and the movie like everything's like the lighting, everything's like popping and is bright, and it's just this mix of this debauchery and terribleness on one side mixed with this underworld on the other side, and I just did that's not it was never what I expected going into this movie. I expected a silly movie about girls going on spring break and they encounter this weird rapper in the Alien rapper drug dealer and get into scrapes, and then they get out of the scrapes and go home and learn something valuable. And that's not what this movie is at all.
No,
that's not. And I was so floored by it. And I understand it being difficult to watch. I get that. And I probably would never make you sit down and watch this movie again. But I just think this movie has so much it's trying to say. And I think it says that through every aspect it has, through how it shoots. Like, I read some articles by some women who found this movie profoundly sexist. And I get that, and I'm not going to take that away from, I'm not going to tell a woman, no, you're wrong, the movie's not being sexist. But I do think that there's intentionality behind the camera, like, lingering on women's bodies that way. Like, it's not for titillation, I don't think. I think it's...
I get that, but I think that if a woman had done the movie, she would have still been able to make those characters be as strong of female characters as they were represented without having to shoot a woman like that. And I think that because it was a guy, and that's when you told me it was a woman, I was like, are you serious that a woman is going to go through and put other women through this in order for them to get a shot about what they think a spring break is going to be like, and then repeatedly do it over and over? Because that is disgusting, in my opinion. And that's why I did not like that.
I mean, if you're trying to capture what the male gaze looks like, then yeah. I mean, it's not a woman. I completely agreed this movie would look completely different shot from the perspective of a woman. But, like, I almost think that shooting the women that way is meant to make you feel guilty for reducing these people just to flesh and to things. It's the thingification of everything. There's stacks of money and guns and DVD players. James Franco's got Scarface playing on his DVD player on loop, which is hilarious because he fucking dies at the end of that movie. Like, were you expecting James Franco? And women are just more things. But these women, which he tried to just collect as things, were not things. These women were in control, and they completely just dominated him. I mean, he bails these women out of prison thinking that he's got these girls he's going to control, and does not go that way for him.
And I get that. And I mean, I do not think that they were not pictured, especially Ashley Benson and Vanessa Hudgens' characters. They were pictured as very strong women. Okay. Not necessarily with the lifestyle choices that I would want to be
they're crazy.
As a strong
they're
woman.
Crazy.
But, you know, they were very independent. They did not let anybody tell them what to do. They made up their mind and they did it. And, you know, great for them for that.
They made James Franco suck their gun penis.
I think if you want to show a woman of strength, I get how you're trying to say the whole thing about you want to maybe make them feel as though you're judging them differently than what you should because it's just a girl in spring break. But I don't know. I just think that there are a lot of different ways that you can do that than just...
Well, and I don't even know if...
And I mean, like, none of that really even mattered. It really bothered me.
I mean...
It just bothered me.
It kind of... What didn't matter?
Just all of that at the beginning.
I mean, it matters because that's what people think spring break is. That's what people see. The idea that the escape from the comfortable shell of college is to go down to a beach and get naked and hook up with random people and get drunk is what people what the understanding of what this thing is. And I think in order to combat that, I think you have to show it.
Yeah, fine.
I mean, I'm not saying that you should have liked this. I would never say.
I didn't. Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm trying to explain what I think the movie was trying to do, and it's okay.
I get what it's trying to do. I just think that if he could have done it in a lot more respectable way to women.
Yeah, and I'm not a woman,
and I
so
don't think
I can't.
Yeah.
So I can't. I would never want to silence a woman's voice on that. That's not my role. I hear you. I understand.
I just thought it was disgusting, and I thought the fact that he would continually make women do that in order to get it's just I didn't like it.
I mean, but like, if I mean, if I'm trying to think of a way to word this doesn't make me sound like a jerk, but like,
is there no way that any of those shots would have been, I mean, a woman can be shot the same way wearing clothes that are still as revealing without completely being
what if they want to be naked?
exposed?
It was a topless beach. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like, I mean, I've never been to a beach party like that, but that is, when you think of college spring break, I think a lot of those scenes is what you think of. Is it not?
Not to that extent, no.
Okay.
That's me.
All right. Well, it's gotten too serious.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. This was when you pick a movie.
James Franco is great. Ashley Benson, great. Vanessa Hudgens, yeah, all the girls, all of the acting was phenomenal.
And that Britney Spears piano scene in the middle.
I think the themes were very interesting to the movie. I think that some of the direction would have made it more enjoyable for me.
I see what you're saying.
I just think that if I had to rewatch a Spring Break movie, there's no way I would pick to rewatch Spring Breakers. I would pick
your
20.
Idea is
yeah.
You could have accomplished the same thing. You could have said the same thing without the explicit, gratuitous nudity and sex.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Do you have anything else we want to say about Spring Breakers?
James Franco should have gotten an Oscar nomination or a nomination for something. I don't even care if it's an Oscar. Golden Globe. I don't know what else they have.
Do you see why I liked it though? I mean, the sex.
I understand why you would like it because it was trying to say something. And I think it was trying to say it in a creative way. And Quentin Tarantino liked it.
Did he?
Yes, it was his favorite movie of that year. And so because
it
was his favorite movie of the year, whether you knew it or not.
I did not know that, but
he's one of your favorite directors, so it does not surprise me.
Okay.
And it does not surprise me that he likes it because he is very in your face with blood and gore, just like this was very in your face with.
Yeah, and I understand exactly why you did not like it. And I think going forward, I will try to... I honestly didn't remember how much there was at the beginning of the movie. And if I had remembered that, I might have hesitated to pick it. And I'll probably think about that before I pick stuff in the future.
I mean...
Because I don't want to make you uncomfortable in this whole thing. That's not what I want to do.
It's not that I was uncomfortable. It's just... It's not a representation of a woman. That is not something I would do.
Right.
I mean,
I hope not.
I understand that there are women that do that. And, you know, if that is what they find joy in and they find that that is freeing for them, then whatever, so be it.
Yeah.
But...
Well, I think the movie lands on the side of that's terrible and dangerous and destructive. So, I think.
So.
All right.
Spring Breakers.
Spring Breakers.
22 Jump Street.
Clearly, you liked one better than the other.
I did. Clearly.
I loved your movie. I mean, I loved my movie too, but I really loved your movie.
I think mine's happier.
It definitely is happier.
I like happy.
As was the conversation about it. It was definitely happier. All right. Yes. Let's talk about last week's question. You
know what? Let's do that. You know, we should just take a big deep breath. Okay, everybody, here's what I want you to do right now. I just want you to breathe in with me. We're going to count and then we're going to release. We're going to breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, Jesus. Breathe out, peace.
What?
That's what someone in college told me one time because I was really stressed. And since it's Selena Gomez and she had that, you know, you just...
All right. Do you remember what last week's question was?
movies to relax. So that's what we're doing right now. We're just relaxing. We're meditating. We're breathing in. We're breathing out. Slowing your heart rate to a nice even tone so that you can relax. And so we're going to talk about some movies that people watch in order to help them relax. And so, yeah, because that was our question, right? What's your go-to movie for you
if you need a break?
If you need a break.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a spring break, but you want to break.
We had to open this up because some people didn't have a movie they go to. Some people had like a video game or a TV show. So I had to open up. I had to open up past movies a little bit.
I'm sorry that you felt limited by movies, guys. It's just what
you're
helps
never
you
limited.
relax.
Never limited. Yeah.
You know,
So,
bubble bath.
Starting with the first one, Kifru says he has 3, depending on his mood. Okay. Either Shawshank Redemption, Django Unchained, or Edge of Tomorrow. Have you seen all those?
I have seen all of those. And you know what? I agree. You know, sometimes a good relaxing movie is just a great action movie. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just let someone else take the action over and let you sit back and just watch and enjoy.
Right.
I really liked Edge of Tomorrow. A lot more than I thought that I would.
I can't believe that movie was as good as it was.
I know.
It's quite remarkable. They're making a sequel.
Oh, Edge of Today? No, it was a bad joke, wasn't it? I'm sorry.
Edge of Yesterday.
Edge of Yesterday. And it's been a long time since I've seen Django. I think that's one of my least watched, other than James Brown.
Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown. Yeah, James Brown is the musician.
I love Jackie Brown.
And then Shawshank Redemption. Watched that in college, actually, because one of our neighbors, it was his favorite movie. And so we had to go through.
A lot of people say Shawshank Redemption is their favorite movie.
I know,
and I don't get it. Shawshank Redemption is a fine movie. I would never insult that movie. But best movie ever?
No. I mean, yeah. Morgan Freeman, right?
I like both of these movies we talked about today more than Shawshank Redemption.
It's been so long since I've seen it.
Yes, it's Morgan Freeman.
And
Robbins.
Yeah.
Andy Dufresne.
I've got another good Tim Robbins movie.
Stephen King wrote that story.
Tim Robbins, IQ.
Okay.
You ever seen that movie?
No.
It's like a good movie.
Okay.
So that's what Kiefer, like, Prof, his go-to Let Me Break is Eureka.
That's a television show on the Sci-Fi Network. I had never heard of it until he mentioned it.
Eureka is good. Gabriel Dropout what is that?
Apparently
that
that's an anime.
Oh, anime.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? Scott doesn't like anime.
No.
And there's one thing that I used to watch when I was little, Sailor Moon. And so, is that classified as anime?
I think technically.
Yeah. So
Tuxedo Mask.
If I need to have him watch some Sailor Moon so that we can expand his anime, I can totally play that card. You just let me know.
I liked a girl in high school that loved Sailor Moon.
I know. I wanted to dress up as her at Halloween one year, but we didn't get to. Lucky Star.
It's also an anime.
And then Playing Doom.
That's a video game.
Because playing is the action of playing Doom.
Way to slip into teacher mode, babe.
Yes. So I guess Prof likes to relax with some anime and then just some video games, which is totally understandable. Mm-hmm. You like to relax with video games too. You like to play them too. Just
not as often as I used to, but every once in a while.
Yeah.
I got a Switch. Played some Mazio.
I thought you meant you like had to switch up what you were doing.
No, I got the Nintendo Switch.
I got it.
They announced the new Mario Tennis game today.
Oh. We need to play actual tennis outside.
Okay.
I'm not very good.
I'm probably better at Mario Tennis.
We'll both get better at real tennis and Mario Tennis. How about them apples?
All right. The next answer comes from A Bird.
A bird?
That's
what type
name.
of a bird?
A bird.
A bird?
Cuckoo. A Bird really likes Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That's his go-to break movie, which is a great choice, A Bird.
It is.
A Bird is from Australia.
If you're a bird, I'm a bird.
Maybe it's Australia Bird?
A bird? How do you... A
yeah,
bird,
please try to do an Australian accent. Please try it. Please try
a bird. Put another shrimp on the bobby.
Oh, that's so bad.
I know, because I was... I need to listen to an Australian accent. I need to just listen to Nicole Kidman for a bit. Or Hugh Jackman. And then I'll get into my... Oh, yeah, sorry, continue.
A Bird also likes the Helm's Deep battle from Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, so he likes to just throw on that battle and watch it, which is it's a great battle, babe. It's a great battle.
I wish that I had only had to watch that whenever I did the Lord of the Rings.
Okay. Huh. Why don't you read the next one?
So after our little birdie friend, Andy P likes to just turn on Parks and Rec.
That's a good one.
You know, just get you some good 30-minute comedy with some good old Chris Pratt.
Good old Chris Pratt.
Good old Chris Pratt.
That was Fat Pratt.
Fat Pratt.
And then he got skinny for Marvel.
Yep, and then he left his wife.
Yeah.
So we don't support him on this podcast because we're all about marriage, and he's all about not marriage. So
well, he might be all about marriage, just not all about marriage to what was her name?
I don't remember. She's on that one show with
Anna
Alex and
Faris.
Jamie. Anna, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
She's great. I like her.
Is she?
Apparently he didn't.
You love her too?
No.
Good.
Strong feelings. Last but not least, we have Enamored, who says their answer is There She Is, which is a Flash animation series that I have never heard of, but I'm sure it's great. Elyse?
Yeah.
Do you have an answer to this question? What is your go-to break movie?
Oh, you know what movie I was watching for a long time, and you finally bought it for me? Actually, okay.
Oh my God.
Any movie, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? Because you're looking at it right now. And oddly enough, I like it even though I hate the woman that's in it. I do not like Anne Hathaway, but I love The Intern.
The Intern.
It is so great. And I'm drawing a blank on who did that movie because she also did a couple other movies that are also like some go-to. Another one that I really don't like.
Adorable old people movies.
I do. I love them. That's why that
Hello,
one
My
movie,
Name is Doris.
Oh, Hello, My Name is Doris is good. Yeah. But another one that was a go-to movie that I would put in kind of like
Nancy Meyers.
Nancy Meyers movies. Those
she
are
did
my go-to.
Something's Gotta Give. She did The Holiday. She did
The Holiday.
It's Complicated.
So good. It's Complicated was not one of my favorites. Did she do The Devil Wears Prada? She didn't, I don't think. That is the one. Okay, so there are two Meryl Streep movies that I will admit to liking. Devil Wears Prada, Julie and Julia. And I only like Julie and Julia because I like to do a Julia Child's impression.
Please
but I'm
do
not
it.
going to do it on
Please
the mic.
do it.
Well, I'd like blow the mic.
Why can't you just lower your voice?
I think that because Julia Childs, you have to do it loud. And it's really funny because me and my mom...
You can't not do it now. They want to hear it.
Me and my mom will just like all of a sudden just start around Thanksgiving and stuff. We'll just break into our Julia Child's voices across the kitchen from each other. And then my little sister hates it. Oh, hello!
Yeah, you did blow that mic up.
And that's not even a really good one. That one sounded more like Miss Doubtfire than it did Julia Childs. I'm so
that's very
sorry.
good, Miss Doubtfire.
Yeah.
But I think that's what Robin Williams was going for a little bit. I think he was trying to channel a little bit of Julia Childs.
Yeah.
So.
So those are my go-to. And Nancy Meyers, The Holiday, The Intern, Devil Wears Prada.
Okay.
Those that are just, it's just the You've Got Mail type thing. It's just easygoing, relaxing. You don't really have to think about it. Movies. It's just pretty and happy to watch. What about you?
I go to either comedy or action. So I either want something funny that I can turn my brain off and watch, like MacGruber, or like we already talked about Ghostbusters, but Ghostbusters is a really good wind down movie for me. Or like just a fun action movie, like the Fast and the Furious movies are just
like good
fun,
action movies.
mindless action movies.
Yeah.
I almost said the John Wick movies, but I think those are more than just fun, mindless action movies. I think those are actually fantastically made movies, so I wouldn't want to lump them into that. But you know, like there was one year, every summer, like I was having like a really stressful summer or something, and it was like I used to have a lot. Like in my first couple of years of college, I was very stressed out all the time.
I remember you telling me about that.
And I started watching movies to fall asleep to, because it was the only way I could get my brain to stop like worrying about things, was to focus on movies. And so this one summer I watched the movie Basketball
every
every night for an entire summer. And like I would never finish it because I'd fall asleep during it. But I would every time I'd lay down to bed, I would boot it up and I'd watch however long it took me to fall asleep. And I did that every night. So that's probably a good answer because that movie relaxes me because I think of sleeping when I put that movie in. And it's not, I mean, that's the Trey Parker and Matt Stone silly sports movie. It's not particularly good, but it's not awful. It's a good fall asleep tune movie.
You made me watch that once. It was kind of funny.
All right. So I think that's it for last week's question.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our theme for next week.
Yeah. So we're going to kind of ride on this a little bit from your movie that had really strong women characters.
And lots of boobs.
Does yours have lots of boobs in it?
What?
Does your movie
Spring Breakers? I thought you were talking about my old.
No.
I thought you were talking about my old
new
one. I thought we were moving from what you didn't like.
Only taking the bridge from the movies that you had to the movie that we're going to do for this next week.
What movie that I had?
The Spring Breakers. Strong.
Yeah, there were lots of boobs in it.
Okay, but I'm going with what our theme is going to be next week and how it kind of...
Today, what is today? Because that's important. The day we were recording this is a Thursday night, and it is...
I don't think I should have to say it. I think you should be able to say happy this to
It
me.
is International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you.
Elyse, you are an international woman, and it is your day.
It is my day. What did you get me?
Happy day. I got you tickets to the movies.
Oh, thanks. What else did you get me?
A podcast.
What else did you get me?
I didn't realize that International Women's Day was a present getting kind of holiday.
I think it is.
I was not
Don't you
aware.
want to honor and celebrate me?
I do. And that's why we're doing...
That's why I came up with the theme.
You did. You did. What is the theme, Elyse?
Next week, it is about honoring those action heroes that are female.
Yeah.
Women action heroes.
Women action heroes, honoring both International Women's Day and a little movie that comes out next Friday that has tombs in it.
And we raid them.
And rating.
We raid them tombs.
Speaking of that...
That's my movie, guys. Because does anybody not love Lara Croft Tomb Raider?
Everybody.
And... does anybody not love Angelina Jolie, international woman, right there?
She is an international woman.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. I made Scott buy me the Blu-ray steelbook of it at Best Buy yesterday because I saw it and I was so excited and I couldn't believe that we didn't have these movies. And it was like, Lara Croft, oh, so good.
So Elyse has selected Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
With Angie.
The first movie with Angelina Jolie. Just
so
the first
good,
one.
You can watch both of them. I don't care. We can watch them both. We should watch them both. Why not watch them both?
Because the second one is so bad.
I don't remember watching the second one.
So
I
bad.
liked the first one.
So that's a great tie-in because the new Tomb Raider movie comes out next Friday when that episode will drop.
I'm really excited about Alicia.
Alicia?
I thought it was
Alicia.
Alicia Vikander. I think that's it.
Okay. You're probably right. It's International Women's Day. You're always right.
And you didn't say it in a sarcastic voice, so I'm going to take that recording and I'm going to splice it and I'm going to play it all the time.
Elyse, can I say my movie now?
If you must.
So I thought long and hard about this because women action heroes. There's a lot of good ones. And I almost went...
Kill Bill?
I thought about The Bride from Kill Bill. I thought about Ellen Ripley from the Aliens franchise, but... I want to save those.
Oh, I forgot. Okay.
I want to save those because I have some other themes we're probably going to do in the future that I want to talk about those movies. And then I realized that there was a movie series that you have never seen that is just ridiculous. So I selected as my female action hero, I selected Sarah Connor, and I selected Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
I'll be back.
Because Elyse has not seen either of the Terminator movies. So we're going to primarily focus on Terminator 2.
Hasta la vista.
Because Sarah Connor is much more of an action hero in Terminator 2. But I think I'm going to have to get Elyse to watch both these movies. Because, frankly, my dear, it's absurd that you haven't seen these movies.
I'll be back.
So that's next week. Elyse is going to pick Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and I am going to pick...
Vista.
Are you just going to keep doing that?
Baby.
These are the only quotes you know from the movie.
You know, sometimes I try and make my voice go as deep as I can.
All right.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Hey, Elyse,
Yeah.
we're way over on time. Why don't you
Oh.
give him the discussion question?
Oh, our discussion question for this next week is, what woman inspires you? You can think about it from film, from TV, from real life, from podcast world. I don't know. I mean, maybe the people that you listen to could inspire you.
Elyse, you inspire me.
I did a compliment today for my kids in class.
You got to explain what that is, babe. You can't just introduce new terms.
It's basically, we did a place setting thing for our open house tonight, and so their placemat just had their name, and instead of it just being like, we put compliments about them on their placemat, so we called it a compliment.
Is that like the jump to conclusions, Matt?
Yeah, whatever.
Have you ever seen Office Space?
No.
Oh my God.
And so I put one out for me too, a poster for them to write compliments about me, and one kid raised his hand and goes, "Are we supposed to write about you too?" And I said, "Yes, I'm fishing for compliments today." Guys, they wrote really nice things about me.
That's good. They love you.
Sometimes.
They love you. All right. Well, that is all we have time for this week. If you like this podcast and all of our podcasts, you can check out all of our shows over at dailyplanetfilms.com. That's DALY. Also, if you want to help support us, you can consider donating $1 a month or whatever else you can afford to our Patreon account. You get access to tons of special content and features and things, and you can find out all about that at patreon.com/dailyplanetfilms. Lastly, as we mentioned last week, Vow to View is now on its own podcasting feed. We have our own feed now, and this is it. If you're listening on the old Daily Planets feed, this is the last episode we are going to put on that feed, so you have to subscribe to the new Vow to View feed.
Please, you have to.
Go
You just
go
do.
do it right now. Right
now.
And speaking of that new feed, Elyse, one of the benefits of having a new feed is that you can get individual reviews for your specific podcast. And I think if I remember correctly, we have a review for you to read.
I do. We chose one this week, and I promised that if you tell me how, I will not only just read it, but I will read it in a voice, in an accent. I will sing it. I will rap it. I will do whatever you want. And so this one that we chose this week, I'm going to be rapping. So
who sent in the review before you start?
Gotta loosen the lips for the
Wow.
rapping.
Wow.
It is by Sammy 1985827 I'm sorry.
You don't have to read off the numbers.
19858277373.
Okay, read the review, babe.
Okay. Bum ba bum ba bum ba ba. You got to do the song for me.
No, you're on your own.
In North Dallas, Texas, where the podcast was raised, when it finally drops, it's how I spend most of my days. Chilling on the couch, just watching all the movies and sharing my favorites like Rocky and the Goonies. When the Daily Couple showed up to do good, and started singing musicals in my neighborhood. I tuned in one little time just to listen, and I swear I subscribed, and now I'm hooked. Now that they're on the air. Bum bum ba da ba da choo 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 boop dun 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 dun. Will Smith ain't got nothing on me.
Thank you so much for that 5-star review, Sammy. That was great. Thank you for making Elyse do that. And everyone else out there, if you want Elyse to do something ridiculous, if you want Elyse to sing, to rap, to do accents, if you want Elyse to read an entire review in her amazing Australian accent, head on over to iTunes, give us a review, give us a rating. It really helps other people see our podcast, and we really appreciate it. So please do that.
And I'm very talented at singing. I will totally admit that. But Scott's really good at singing too.
That's not true.
So if we need Scott to sing anything,
that is not true.
We can totes have him do it too.
All right, guys. Elyse, thank you so much. Thank you for watching Spring Breakers.
Of course, I love you.
I love you. And everyone else out there, we will talk to you See, I didn't say see you. We will talk to
You're
you
learning.
next week. Happy International Women's Day, even though by the time
Thank
you're
you.
hearing this, it will be over. But why isn't every day International Women's Day?
Isn't this Women's Month?
Yes.
So happy Women's Month.
Happy Women's Month.
This one's by a little-known pop singer by the name of Miss Britney Spears. One of the greatest singers of all time, and an angel if there ever was one on this earth. Notice me, take my hand, while we strangers when our love was strong. Why carry on without me? Every time I try to fly, I fall without my wings. I feel so small. I guess I need you.